Hey everyone, welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I'm Ethan Van Sciver. The tired Ethan Van Sciver, but I'm here everyone. Hello, I haven't done a live stream in a couple days. It's great to be with you. Right here, guys. Wait, this hat always looks crooked on camera. Today's an important day. Today's a great day. What a great day, everyone. We did it. We did it. We actually did it. We got Cyberfrog out. People are now getting it. People are getting Cyberfrog Blood Honey. They're showing pictures of themselves receiving Cyberfrog Blood Honey on Twitter. It's just awesome. It couldn't be better. Couldn't be better. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about what's going on here. I just got back from doing some signing. I don't know what's going on. It hurts. I sit there, I'm in I was sitting in a smaller chair, kind of a lower chair. Does this sound funny? It sounds funny in my headphones. I was sitting in kind of a lower chair, and man, I don't know what it is, but the angle and then the repetitive movement. So I had them stack 3 chairs up for me so that I could be taller at this table. And still, I mean, look, it hurts. It hurts my shoulder. I think I signed another 1,000 of them today and said I got to go take a break. And then I got word that the chromiums are in. So, I'm going to go back there in a couple hours. And we are going to have the chromiums, guys. We're going to have the chromium Cyberfrogs. Whew, as I said, at the end of the week, chromiums are in. Hooray. It's like, hooray. That just means that I'm going to have a lot more things to sign. We're plowing through these team up covers. We're sending them out. We're sending them out like 1,500 to 1,000 a day, getting them into people's hands. And I'm telling you, we should get some reviews soon. But today was the first day that people started talking about receiving them, taking pictures of them, showing off their books, and that's all I wanted to see. That's all I wanted to see. Now, of course, I think so far the people who have gotten them live in New York, so that's not too far away from me. I mean, I'm in New Jersey, so you're going to see labels from Mount Laurel, New Jersey, my neighborhood. That's what you're going to see. I heard from somebody that like they were tracking a package that was coming to them. They live in Florida. They're not expecting it until Wednesday. I don't understand that. I don't understand waiting until Wednesday for this thing. I think people should be getting them tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday. And let me tell you something. The internationals all went out already. So you guys who are like, hey, I'm overseas. When am I going to get my books? You're going to get them soon. You're going to get them soon. They're already in the mail. Everything is being shipped, and I believe they're being shipped in order. So do not worry about it. Let me see who's in the chat. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for showing up and joining me. We got 371 people here. Appreciate that. Dan Marshall's here. Johnny Boy, Video Vice 25. Johnny Boy says, "Hail Caesar, I'm currently getting drunk in a pub. Love you, boss." Wow, I wish I could join you. I would love to take a night and just get drunk with Andrea. I've got so much work to do. I've got a lot of work to do. Here's the Jawbreakers cover. This has got to get done and out of here. I just started working on. I never tell where the camera is. Turn it that way. There you go. There's cuffs right there. We got this part done, and then I got to draw over here. I got to draw the bad guy. Yeah, that's got to get done and out of here, but it's like the signings come first. I sign during the day, I ship stuff out, and then at night I come in here and I draw as hard as I can and just try to get stuff done. Zach's Jawbreakers cover is a priority. He doesn't have his book put on disc yet, so it's not like I'm really holding him up, but still I want to get it done to a colorist and get it moving. Work, work, work. Suddenly, I'm telling you, something happened this week. I think it was just the fact that everything is working, and we're moving. The books are going out the door. People are excited about them. I'm seeing the results of all of my years worth of hard work. I'm finally seeing it. I have it in my hands. I have a whole rack of comics over here. A whole rack of copies of Cyberfrog Team Up. My little brother Noah asked for one. I sent him one. Anna, that Star Wars girl, she said, I want to review it. I said, well, I'll send you one. I sent her one overnight. Well, she ordered one too, but she's like, I don't want to wait. Anna was throwing a fit yesterday. So I was like, I'll send you one. I'll send you a Team Up one. So we got that going. I'm looking forward to seeing what people think of it. I see that they see it. I see that they have it. Let me see. I'm going to just kind of light up my Twitter for a second here, and I'll show you. This is great right here. Yeah, look at this. So yeah, the mail came early today. They must have known I was receiving something important. Hashtag Comicsgate. That's what it's all about right here. As you can see, this is what your package is going to look like. It comes, it's bagged and boarded. Okay, so it should get there safe. This looks like it got there safe. Here's your bookmark. Here's your 2 pack of cards, your foil wrap pack of cards. These were, all of this stuff was expensive. These stickers were expensive. By the way, we underprinted these at first. We had problems printing these. We underordered them. I only ordered 6,500 of them accidentally. And then I realized, no, we need like 3 times that many. So we went back to print. We got enough stickers for everybody. And this is what your package is going to be if it's a Team Up cover. That's great. So we're waiting on the chromiums. We're waiting on the ash cans. We're going to get this thing fulfilled, and everybody's going to have everything, I hope, by November. I would like to see that happen. Everybody just have everything in their hands by November. But I think it'll happen before then. I think we're doing really, really well. I don't want to ever overpromise ever again. From now on, I'm going to under-promise everything. I'm just going to say, look, it's going to happen when it happens, and I'll give myself a wide leeway in terms of time periods, so people are no longer ticking the clock at me. But I don't want to let you guys down. I don't want you guys to have like the wrong expectations again. I don't want to like not live up to your expectations. Here's what I can tell you. This book is the best thing that I could do. I mean, I read it again. I've read it like 16 times, like since it's been in print here. And it's the best thing I can do. If you like this, if you like me, you'll like this. And if you don't like this, you don't like me at all, because this is literally my best work. So I'm very, very happy with that. Okay, so far I've seen 3 people on Twitter talking about how they got it. Just 3, but it's still, people are still at work. So I'm not expecting a big avalanche of reports. There's a fly in here again. How am I supposed to do a live stream when there's a fly buzzing around? I want to be like Barack Obama and catch it midair. Or tweezers. Now, if you guys saw me catch a fly buzzing around in here with tweezers, what would you think? I mean, would you be impressed by me at that point? You would have to be. You might pretend to not be impressed with me if I caught a fly with tweezers in here. But it would be, it'd be all in vain. Truth is, you'd be very impressed with me. So I saw a couple of crazy articles today. I want to discuss them. Which one do I want to do first? First of all, well, I'll just do the one I don't care about very much first. Okay, I'll go in order of how much I care. Grace Randolph, who is, I really thought she was Fandom Menace. I mean, I really thought she was one of us. She has, she has panned Rambo Last Blood. She gave it a review. She called it racist and misogynist. So you get a 2-fer there. 2 for 1. She says Stallone seems to be de-evolving as a filmmaker and an actor. Now, you tell me that this movie is racist and misogynistic. I'm going to go see it because, A, I don't think it's really going to be racist. And if it's misogynistic, well, that's, and a woman telling me that, I kind of want to see it even more. So I'm excited about this. I don't understand what Grace Randolph's talking about, but maybe I will. Maybe I'll go see this movie and my SJW side will come out and I'll realize that Grace Randolph is right. Sylvester Stallone's out of his mind. But in fact, if you want to ask me the truth about Sylvester Stallone, at this point, I think Sylvester Stallone's on top of his game, and I think this guy's a genius who understands his characters. The two characters, who are the two characters that he's lived with longest? I mean, Rambo and Rocky. And I really love the way he kind of has given both of these characters a complete story arc from, young man to, old man and the end of their story. I love that about Stallone. I think the man's a genius. I think he knows how to keep his characters, make them live and breathe. And I got to go see this movie. Now, we knew it was going to be racist according to SJWs. We knew that. I didn't know it was going to be misogynistic. I had no idea. That's just an extra added bonus. But I'm sure, and from what I'm hearing, this is going to be even more violent. This is more violent than Rambo, which was the last movie that he made. And Rambo was just incredible. Sylvester Stallone gets up like what would you call it? I mean, the pivotal moment of where everything just comes together. He gets up and he's firing a .50 caliber machine gun and just blowing people to pieces. I've never seen anything like that. And it doesn't stop. Like, it's not just a brief scene. It just goes on and on and on and on. And I'm telling you, that is what the people want. I am the people. That's what I want. That's what I want. So I'm not going to listen to Grace Randolph this time. I don't think she's right about this. So we got a couple of super chats. Hold on a second. Gamma Catch says Teddy Spaghetti praises China while EVS creates Americana. Did Teddy Spaghetti praise China? I don't know what's going on with him. He called me again. I'm not. I don't want to talk to Vox Day. Vox, please stop calling me. I don't want to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. Fine fellow, but be a fine fellow over there. Brian Kriskow says popping people like zits. That's how I would describe it. That's how I would describe it. I would describe the .50 caliber hitting those people, and they're just, just human beings exploding like bags of Kool-Aid. That is what the American people want. I'm pretty sure. So, Grace Randolph, I'm going to disagree with you about this, even without having seen the movie. And now let's go back and check out this little bit of news. Rian Johnson now. This has been a slow descent into acceptance. Ryan, I said from the start that you are not going to get to do your Star Wars trilogy. It's just not going to happen. And see, the fact of the matter is that right now, the pop culture world that's been infested by SJWs is acting entirely out of spite. They're acting entirely out of spite. Everything that they do is they do not want to give in to the toxic man babies. You will give in to us toxic man babies, though, eventually. Hold on, let me fix this. Eventually, you will have to do it. We win all the time. The patriarchy always wins. Look at this pin, by the way. Hold on a second. Let me put the camera back on. I don't know if you can see this. I don't know if you can make this out, but this is my official patriarchy button. When you wear this pin, it is a symbol that you are part of the secret society that only 50% of the population of the world can be in. Okay? It is a privileged upper class. It's the patriarchy. So get your patriarchy pin today. Now back to Rian Johnson. I have said before, and I'll say it again, he's not making his trilogy. It's just not going to happen. Let me see if that even came out. You can't see it. Oh, yeah, you can't see it. Okay, good. I'm watching the replay up there on my iPads. You cannot. It is not going to happen. I said this. Now, Rian Johnson has a new movie coming out called Knives Out. It's Knives Out. And it stars all of the bastards from Twitter, all of the SJW actors that are disappointing you day in and day out. Chris Evans is one of them. All of these weirdos who do nothing but bash the president. Apparently, this is Clue for the clueless. It is Rian Johnson, and he is the entire movie is making fun of white privilege, I guess, and Trump. He's like, this is my murder mystery for the Trump era. That's nice, you clown. Now, who killed Star Wars? You did. Rian Johnson shares update on production of his new trilogy. It's starting to sink in. It's starting to sink into this head. In an interview with the Evening Standard, Rian Johnson gave an update on when his production on his new Star Wars trilogy would begin. When is it going to happen? The truth is, they're still figuring out their schedule, their game plan, Johnson told the Evening Standard. If it's possible for me to squeeze in another film before or while working on that, I will. All right, he's starting to realize now. Disney actually told him, according to rumors that I believe, that Rian Johnson is not allowed to say that he is making a Star Wars trilogy anymore. He's not allowed. So this is his way of weaseling out. This makes me feel like that rumor was true. This makes me feel like that rumor was 100% true. The rumor was, look, Disney said, stop talking about how you're making a trilogy. You know, you want to say nice things about Star Wars, you can do that. But do not talk about your trilogy ever again. And I think that is indeed what happened, because look, it's like they're figuring out their schedule. Yeah, maybe I will, maybe not. Probably not, Ryan. Just slowly kind of back into the truth. There's not going to be another Rian Johnson trilogy. Just, cooler heads have prevailed. I predicted that when J.J. Abrams put his guy in there, or his girl in there, J.J. Abrams made his secretary, vice president of Lucasfilm. And she's going to inherit Kathleen Kennedy's job, I do believe. And she is going to be working on behalf of, probably working on, subtly her former boss's wishes. And J.J. Abrams is no fan of Rian Johnson. I think that this is, I thought that was ball game. And I thought it was very, very clever. Very clever indeed. Okay. Let me see. Should I look at super chats for a second? Look at the chat. I'll just look at the chat and see what you guys are saying. And I'll answer some questions, and then we'll get on to our other big stories. Let me see what's going on here. Message about stuff? Oh, no. Okay, that was a message from the President of the United States. That's right. Message of the president from the President. He does text me. Taconetic says, yeah, shiny ones. I'm way down. I got to scroll back and see if I can catch any of these super chats before I go to the live stream page. Scott McCullough says 36 hours for door kickers with a free page of art. Wow. Chimera says, my wife's boyfriend woke me up and showed me that Cyberfrog arrived in the mail. Thanks, EVS. Very cool. Oh, did you actually get it already, or are you just making a joke? Docker D says, on this day in 1977, Fonzie jumped the shark. That's historic. That is historic. John Connor says, what is up with the thumbnail for this live stream? I think I used it as a meme to laugh at someone on Twitter, but it was in my download folder, so it was just a lazy thing that I put up. It doesn't mean anything. I just needed a picture to use as a thumbnail. All right. Yeah, I mean, that's how I roll. I didn't want to, I don't really have time. I didn't have time to make a thumbnail. We got to do a quick live stream today and just make sure that you guys are informed about everything except for mummies. Neil says, hi, EVS in the chat. Hello to you. Lucas King says, still waiting for the book. Building a mailbox from Cyprus, I milled myself, lined with velvet to accept it right now. That sounds wonderful. That sounds very feminine. I like the idea of, a mailbox being specially prepared to accept the penetration of Cyberfrog. Cyberfrog Blood Honey. It's going to be cool. I haven't seen anybody actually review it yet, but we'll see what they say. Chuck Keyworth says, afternoon, good sir. Michael Cuerva says, Trump texted you to ask where his Cyberfrog comic is. Yeah. That's possible. Red Gaze says, Red Gaze is here, but I think he's talking to somebody else. Drop Cyberfrog and Salamandroid into Iran and let them F shit up. Ha ha ha. That sounds like a good idea. Comics Matter with your boy Zach. He's in here. He says, mummies are better than you singing. Well, I mean, I could do both. I could sing about mummies. I could sing the mummy news, Zach. That would be even better, I imagine. Wouldn't you say? All right, so let's get back to the news here and talk about what's going on. I'm so excited I get to go and then pick up my Chromium comics. James Tynion IV is taking over as Batman's writer. James Tynion IV. There were 3 other James Tynions before this one. 3 others. This one is working for DC Comics, and he has taken over Batman from what is it? Tom King? Was Tom King writing Batman? Is that the regular? Okay, let me see this. Rich Johnson wrote it, so you know what that means. Sometimes all it takes is a little nudge for the news to come out. No sooner had we run this story that DC Comics was to announce the new writer of the ongoing Batman series tomorrow for their big Batman Day across the world, and noted that the Union Square signing with Scott Snyder, James Tynion IV, and Peter Tomasi would be a perfect place to do so. At the time, we didn't know if either of these three would be the announced writer, but we put them all on the runners and writer list, albeit with Scott Snyder way down. Yeah, Scott Snyder wouldn't do it because he's already done it. You know, it's like, what, are you going to put him back on there? And now they're excited. They've got the word. The new writer of Batman will be the old writer of Batman, James Tynion IV, from 86 onwards until Batman 100. So James Tynion is going to take over and finish the 100 issues of Batman that Tom King was supposed to do and is no longer going to do. Shoo, Tom King. We want our balls back with Batman. We want Bruce Wayne to start acting like a man again. We got James Tynion writing him. Okay. At which point, we will have another writer, a new Batman relaunch, a new #1, and a new Batman with Luke Fox replacing Bruce Wayne. Okay, so effectively, James Tynion is probably going to kill off Bruce Wayne. This is all good. This is just the perfect scenario. Cuck Bruce Wayne, destroy him, make him into a puss, and then kill him and replace him with Luke Fox. And Luke Fox used to be Batwing. He's a black guy, so we finally got the black Batman that we always wanted. We're finally. I've always wanted Batman to be a black man, and now he's going to be. He's going to be a black man. So that's exciting, everyone. Who's excited about that in the chat? Are you excited about Black Batman? Are you excited about the fact that Bruce Wayne was turned into a total sniveling pussy who was cucked at the altar by Selina Kyle, what we would call a dirty girl, a dirt girl, Selina Kyle, and she is. I'm sorry, she's a thief. You know, she's a scoundrel. She's pretty in a kind of dirty way. It is. He got cucked by Selina Kyle. He tried to make a hoe into a housewife, and then she didn't even come get him at the altar. And now we're killing him off, and we're replacing him with Luke Fox, who used to be Batwing in a comic book that nobody read. This is just. But look, I mean, at least that's not happening for like another 6 months or so, because Batman 86. I think the book is bi-weekly. So you're going to have Batman number 100. You've still got 6 issues of watching Bruce Wayne fall apart in total agony and despair. Should be good, guys. Should be good. Red Gay says, na, black man. It's a black man. All right, so Tynion's 31 years old, which means he wasn't even born when Dark Knight Returns was published. I didn't know Tynion was that young. Tynion does not look that young to me. Tynion doesn't look young. Okay, he's 31, and he is. This is the man. This is the guy who is going to be. This is the guy who is going to be finishing off Bruce Wayne, I guess. Okay, all right. I love it. Couldn't have picked a better person. Couldn't have done it. I would say, please be merciful as you kill off this character and replace him with somebody nobody wants. Why do they do this? This isn't going to work. This may have worked in the 90s. Guys at DC, this might have worked in the 90s when so many people were buying comics, and people were buying comics in extraordinary numbers. People were buying 4, 5, 6, 7, 20 copies of a single comic. And at that point, with everybody making hundreds of thousands of dollars in royalties, the attitude was one of hubris. We might as well fuck with our audience. We might as well just fuck with them and do whatever we want. Oh, yeah, it's Peter Parker. It's a spider clone. It's a guy named Ben Rouse. It's a spider clone. Attack of the Clones. Sure. Yeah, let's get rid of Bruce Wayne and replace him with a Frenchman. Let's replace him with this guy with an incredibly poorly designed costume. Sorry, Joe. Joe Quesada, that costume was ridiculous. Simplicity. Let's do all this crazy stuff because it doesn't matter. Nobody's reading these books anyway. Well, they're reading them now. They're reading them now, sometimes in disbelief. You have managed to whittle down your core audience, whittle down your gigantic audience to just its very core. And these people are actually reading the comics. You know, do you see those Comic-Con sales? I watched that video by Zach tearing into Comic-Con. Tearing into it. Just the humiliation. By the way, every time I use this is a secret. Every time I use the word humiliation or humiliated in my, in my titles for videos, they get like 3 times the views. People like humiliation. People like to hear about humiliation. This is humiliating. Those numbers were humiliating as Zach went through them and just pointed out the fact that like the comic book industry is so inert at this point. It is so, as Joe Quesada would have said and did say about just DC Comics, but I'm going to say it about the whole industry, it's impotent. How can you have Captain America, a character that everybody loves, a character that everybody enjoys, not sell? Sell, what, 30,000? Is it selling 30,000 Captain America? Those are cancellation numbers. 30,000 copies sold would have been like Squirrel Girl's numbers right at the end. 30,000 copies sold would have been like Power Pack number 103 when they ran out of ideas, and so they made Alex half unicorn. And they had an artist that drew children with muscles. That's 30,000 copies. Now it's their best stuff. Now it's our best characters. 30,000. 30,000 copies would have been US1, a book about truck drivers, number 32. Guest starring Rom Space Knight. 30,000 copies sold. 30,000 copies sold would have been Kung Fu Black Belt, Radioactive Kung Fu Black Belt Kangaroos. Rip off of Turtles that nobody wanted. 30,000 copies. Now it's Captain America, everyone. Aquaman, one of the biggest movies of last year, selling 15,000 copies. And all I can say is, well, I have a book about an aquatic hero. I sold 17,000 copies at $25 each. My comic book about an aquatic hero is now being shipped, and everyone's getting it. People are getting my comic about an aquatic hero named Cyber Frog. It has panicked the entire industry. It's made everyone insane. It's made everyone crazy. I don't know what to say. Thank you for going crazy over what we do. Thank you, Comicsgate. Thank you, Comicsgate. First of all, thank you, Comicsgate creators, for believing in the cause, for standing by the movement, for standing by this, for operating as a guild and a club that protects its members. Protects its members from the hostility of the mainstream. All of those weirdos, those poor business practices. Thank you for operating as a guild and a club that promotes each other's comics, that takes the time to retweet everyone's campaigns, to talk each other up, to be proud of one another. Kyle Ritter from Starblades passed 6 figures. I think he's at like 105 now. His campaign ends tonight. Kyle Ritter, 6 figures young lady. 6 figures young lady. Couldn't be more proud. Couldn't be more happy. And that's the success that you guys gave him. So thank you to the customers. Thank you. We call you the fans sometimes, and I don't want to do that too much. Fan is short for fanatic. Fan is like the same kind of thing as community. And we talk about why community is kind of a word. Community is a word that SJWs use to control and manipulate people emotionally. You're part of a community. You have an obligation to this community. That way, if it's a community, then we can throw you out of it. We can gatekeep a community. A community has gates. It has gates. So we don't want to use the word community. We want to use the word fandom or family or something like that. But at the same time, fan is short for fanatic, and that I feel is a disrespectful word. Fanatic sounds mentally ill. I'm a fanatic of autographs. I'm a fanatic of Star Wars and, comic books. But still, it's like I'll say that about myself. I don't want to say that about other people. Customers, the customer, the people who decide, who make the decisions. The people who actually make the decisions about who's going to succeed and at what level and who is going to fail bitterly. That's you guys. Endless respect. Thank you for making Kyle Ritter and his first campaign a success. And I told him, I said, I think this is a 6-figure book. If the world were fair and Comicsgate were a little bit bigger. Oh, and by the way, Kyle, it's like, if Kyle was able to speak and hear, and he was on these live streams entertaining for himself every single day, every single night, there's no reason why that book couldn't have been a 7-figure campaign. That's how good it was. God willing, Kyle Ritter will make 7 figures off of this property in terms of toys and other opportunities. I think that's a likely outcome for him. But that's what Comicsgate does. That is what Comicsgate does, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of you guys. Very proud. I love it. Absolutely love it. All right, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Kyle Ritter deserves all of the success, says Rodriguez Faria. Thank you for backing him if you did. The Fuzz says, Hail Caesar, 6 figures for Kyle, now on to 150K. Hashtag war campaign. Well, let's make it happen. I mean, let him go to store and then, or in demand, and then we'll make that right. Sure, absolutely. That book's going to be good. I think it's already drawn, and we'll see what we can do to help Kyle get that book out. It's important. Pam Boy is here. He says, "Hail Comicsgate, hail Pam Boy." 30,000 copies for Blanco the Great. Is that what that says? 30,000 copies for Blanco the Great, says Vidia Vice 25. Well, that's good. I'm not sure I know what that is, but that's I think that's good. All right, let's see. And that's, those are the copies shipped, not the copy selling. What is this? Gross. Ew. Okay, that was a bug. That was a small bug in my room. Tony Clark. That's the thing about living in the basement. You get little bugs in here every now and then. Little wet bugs crawling across my desk. I feel invaded. I feel like this is my territory, and I need to protect it from insect invasions. I feel like I need to protect this planet, lest it become wrecked. Wrecked Planet. Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet, Part 2. Coming soon. Tony Clark says, painting of Bruce Wayne in a blue dress sold in an island auction. Somebody check Batwing flight records. Maybe he did abandon Gotham. Batwaha Man was right. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Scratch my nose. All right, so here's what's going on. We've got an interesting story that borders on gossip. And I thought to myself, should I cover this? And then I thought, no, I shouldn't cover this. Should I cover drama? Am I somebody who covers drama? Wrecked basement. Yes. Am I somebody who covers drama? I don't like to think so. But in this case, I think I will, because I love one of these people and I dislike the other one. Should I do it? Yeah, let's do it. What the hell? We're here to entertain. Here's on CBR today. This was also on almost every other website. Ex-DC president defends Joker violence, distances herself from Jeff Johns. Okay. Now, a lot of people saw this happen. and a lot of people are confused by this. People were like, whoa, what? What? Look at this picture of them standing together. Why, it's President Diane Nelson, and it is Jeff Johns. And these guys, first of all, who couldn't like Jeff Johns? Who wouldn't like Jeff Johns? Well, let me explain. I'm going to read this real quick. Todd Phillips' upcoming Joker film found a supporter in former DC President Diane Nelson. Nelson, who served as president of DC Entertainment from 2009 to 2018, all years that I was there, shared an article defending the DC film and its violence on Twitter. Well, that's brave of you. That's brave of you. Now that the movie is clearly Oscar-worthy, now that the rumbling in Hollywood is that this movie is going to be Taxi Driver for the superhero genre, and that this movie is going to change the way we perceive comic book movies and superhero movies. It's so brave of you to now declare that you are a supporter of the Joker. Hold on a second. Whoops. Why is... Okay, hold on. Let me get this camera back. Okay, sorry guys. Yeah. I've got this set up very precariously. This is all very old school. Let me double check and make sure this is okay. No, it's not okay. Hold on. That's better. Wait. Okay, that's good. All right. So, Nelson is actually coming out and being what it seems to be brave, but this is somebody who is not going to take a chance. This is right now the popular point of view. To be on the right side of the aisle right now is to say, I knew it all along. I knew it all along. I knew it. I knew Joker was going to work. In defense of Joker and its repulsive violence, okay? Here's an article. In defense of Joker. Todd Phillips' bravura work dares to confront the things we're most afraid to see. In the comments, Nelson also responded to a fan. Let me just go to her thing here. All right. I'm so glad this woman's gone. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay. So she's in the comments, and she's just like, oh, yeah. This guy goes, you couldn't defend Zach's movies and whatever little darkness there was. You're busy playing politics then. But now I guess dark violence is cool. Release the Snyder Cut. By the way, apparently the Snyder Cut really does exist. And then she said, and this person says, too busy helping her buddy Jeff destroy his work from the inside. Destroy Zack Snyder's work from the inside. Here's Diane Nelson. He's no buddy of mine. He's no buddy of mine. Whatever went on behind the scenes at the DCEU, Jeff Johns was given some control. He was not given enough control. That's my personal opinion. I don't think Jeff was ready to deal with the realities of producing big, huge movies like this for DC Comics, for Warner Brothers. I don't think he was ready to do it because, he was undermined at every turn. I can tell. What do you mean he's no buddy of yours? Why would you say that? Why would you say that? Now, I have a little bit of a grudge. First of all, Jeff Johns is my buddy. I will stick up for him anytime. Jeff Johns always went to bat for me. Always. He's no buddy of mine. God, this pisses me off. First of all, let me just reveal, Diane Nelson sold me out, when a bunch of SJWs were attacking me and calling me a Nazi. They mass concern trolled DC Comics with letters. Much to everyone's surprise, Diane Nelson replied to one and said that I did not. She said, I don't think Ethan Van Sciver, his behavior is that of whatever, represented by DC heroes. I can't even remember what it said. passed around and laughed about by SJWs, passed around and laughed about by people like Rich Johnson. Here's Diane Nelson selling you out, saying that you don't represent the values of Superman. That pissed me off. That pissed me off. Shortly after that, Diane Nelson took a break. I said I was, probably going to try to get out of my contract early. And I was told, I was told by Dan DiDio, come back in June. Why? Why come back in June? It's all this chaos around me. Why come back in June? I didn't know. He didn't answer. Just check back in June. Come back to D.C. June, it was announced that Diane Nelson wasn't coming back, so her vacation was phony. She was let go. She was let go because of whatever catastrophic mishandling took place of the DCEU. Movie after movie missed the target. Missed the target. And you wonder why. You wonder what happened behind the scenes. I know Jeff could have done this. I know that, just depending and relying on Jeff's vision would have been enough. But Jeff's a nice guy. I think Jeff was undermined. Jeff lost his job because of the performance of Justice League, which lost a lot of money. And I think Diane Nelson followed. I think they got rid of both of them at the same time. That's my opinion. That's my opinion based on what I saw in the news, what I saw happening. I have no insider knowledge about this. But that is my opinion, based on the fact that the Justice League movie was, again, just another, it was awful, lost a lot of money. And there were people who were responsible for, banging it up. So this is the thing. So for Diane Nelson to now say he's nobody of mine means that whatever kind of atmosphere that was going on behind the scenes of the Justice League movie was toxic. Now, I'll also tell you this about the culture of DC Comics. There is a culture of DC Comics that is competitive at the highest levels, and it's not. It is about envy. It's about competition. It is not fair. It does not reward merit. And the reason why I say this is because DC Comics goes downhill, plummets downhill, and then hires Jeff Johns to fix it. Just as an experiment, let's let Jeff Johns just fix all this. Let's let Jeff Johns fix DC Comics. And Jeff Johns goes, okay, I'm spearheading this Rebirth thing. He called me up. He's like, I need you, buddy. We got to get back together and do this. I can't do anything called Rebirth without you. I need you to, to do Green Lantern and then to do this DC Rebirth project with me. And we got to get this thing up and moving. We got to bring the smile back to DC Comics. We got to fix the relationships that have been broken with these characters. We got to make DC Comics feel good again. It feels awful right now. I couldn't have agreed more at the time. I said so. I did an article. I think I said something on Twitter that became an article on CBR. That I said DC Comics has lost its smile. The superheroes used to grin. They used to be people that you trust. Now I don't trust any of them. How can you trust Superman after what you saw in The Man of Steel to protect you? How can you trust that character? DC's gone so far off the rails, and I know this is not Jeff. I know this is not Jeff's influence because Jeff gets it. DC's gone so far off the rails, you've got a Superman movie in which the entire reason why humanity is threatened and needs Superman is because Superman came to Earth. Superman came to Earth. He was followed. He's followed by Zod, who only wants to kick Superman's ass. If Superman didn't come to Earth, we wouldn't have any problems. According to this movie. If Superman never came to Earth, Zod never would have followed him. And we never would have had any problems. And they destroyed callously, the two of them punching the hell out of each other, destroying buildings, knocking down skyscrapers with little to no concern for human life. Humans were on their own. That was a disaster of a movie, and I know people like it. But I, as somebody who loves Superman the way I do, I sat there gripping the armrests of my chair like, what is this? No, Superman, save me. Save me. That's the whole thing about Superman. Save me. And I know that, like, this is what Christopher Reeve got right. Those movies got right, that these movies got terribly, terribly wrong. Superman loves us so much. He loves people. He gets a kick out of his fellow citizens of Earth. Humans. He likes humans. And Superman would take a punch. If Superman had a choice between landing a punch on Zod that was going to knock him out, or saving the least of humanity, he's going to save the person and take the punch. That's how he is. His first priority has to be to save people. And when you're watching a movie about Superman, in which Superman is callously wrecking shop without any care for human life, you are making a terrible, terrible mistake. You are making a terrible mistake. Unforgivable mistake. You place all your hope in Barack Obama. Place some hope in Superman. Superman. That's where hope should stem from. The idea of Superman. A cross between Elvis and Jesus Christ. He should be awesome. He should be someone you believe in. And the minute you're scared of Superman, and I was afraid of Superman through all three movies in which that character appeared. In which, the DCEU Zack Snyder version of Superman appeared. Terrified of him. A couple moments where he'd kind of come to and realized he was on our side. I was like, okay, he's going to help us again. He's not going to use his heat vision to blow up police cars in the street. God, those movies were terrible. Just awful. And I'll tell you, I watched the Justice League, and of course the Justice League was monkeyed with and tampered with, and we don't know what it would have ended up being. But it's stressful. I hear people on Twitter talk all day long about how they hate seeing comic skaters or former comic skaters, comic skate adjacents, and comics graders fighting with one another. Why? Because despite our differences, we do have a common enemy. And we also have a common ally, and that's the customer, the fan. We're supposed to be entertaining you. Why are we fighting with each other? People don't like it. It stresses them out. I hear all the time, like, please don't fight. Please don't fight with Mike S. Miller. Please don't fight with Doug TenNapel. I want to like you both. Or at least I want to like you. And I don't like you when I see you fighting with people. That's hard. That's a hard message to hear when you're angry and you want to say things about you want to get revenge and you want to point the finger of scorn. That's a hard message to hear from your fans. It's a hard fans, your customers, your supporters. It's a hard message to hear. Well, you got to hear it. It's a hard message to hear. It's a hard thing to witness. And I guess a hard message to hear for Diane Nelson, that we don't want to watch the Super Friends beating the living shit out of each other. We don't want to see it. It's really, really uncomfortable. And they might get in a little squabble. I don't know. But I'll tell you something. Superman was resurrected at one point in Justice League. Spoiler alert if you have not yet put yourself through that film. Superman's resurrected, and he's standing there. And we don't know what he's cold. I think he was dressed in black or he was naked. I don't remember, but his head was bowed. His eyes were closed. And the Justice League approached him. And Wonder Woman, I think, led the way. And Wonder Woman was like, Clark? And Superman opened his eyes, punched Wonder Woman across the face, and started beating up the Justice League, shooting eye beams all over the city, destroying shit. Oh no, Superman's gone crazy. How do you do that in this movie? How do you make a scene like that? You literally have a scene in which Superman has been resurrected from the dead, not unlike another character that he's often compared to. Is that you, Lord? Come here, Thomas. Let me hit you with my eye beams. How do you make that kind of a mistake? What goes on in Hollywood that you're so far away from the hearts and souls and minds of the Midwest, of people who actually love these characters, people who actually, project hope onto them, want them to be characters that we can look up to and believe in? How far away are you from understanding that Superman, who has just been raised from the dead and is standing there, and there's a moment of tension because we don't know if he's okay, and Wonder Woman comes up to him and goes, Clark, are you okay? How dense are you to not know that the right note to hit is Superman raising his eyes, raising his head, opening his eyes, smiling, and saying, Diana, I'm back. Goosebumps. That's what should have been. That's what the movie should have been. He's back. We're okay, We're okay. We're okay. No. It's a nonstop video game of chaos and death. So this is the kind of thing. Now, what goes on at DC? Well, Jeff goes over there, and after the efforts of others, lesser creators without the heart of Jeff, I'm afraid. Few people have Jeff's heart. Few people get it the way he gets it. Jeff comes in and does Rebirth, and it's a tremendous success. Thanks in no small part to me. Just kidding. I did something, though. I got to do the DC Rebirth book, the first 13 pages. I got to draw Hal Jordan Rebirth, the special. And I got to draw Green Lantern's Rebirth. All the stuff that Jeff Johns wrote, I drew. What an honor that is. What an honor that was. And it worked. And the fans came back. And therefore, believe it or not, Jeff Johns had to be destroyed. And that's the comic book industry. I walked around and I heard notes of envy. I heard people saying, this can't last. Yeah, it worked, but it couldn't last. This isn't going to last. Yes, it will. Of course it'll last. This is a formula. It's going to work. Why don't you understand that? Why does it have to be your way? Why can't it be a way that works? Why is ego involved so many times? It's such a lesson to learn. Lies and deception. Poor Jeff. Look at Jeff's cute baby butt face. He looks innocent, but he's not. God damn. He's a full-grown man. He's not innocent. None of us are. The hatred, the suspicion. Oh man, it's illness. It just feels like illness. And Diane here quickly retreats. You know, a simple expression of support for a movie I've always advocated for gets warped into topics and people I care nothing about anymore. You don't care anything about anyone at DC Comics anymore? You don't care about Jeff? I fancy myself a civilian now, and I'm still taken aback when I'm responded to otherwise. What a terrible person. Fuck you, Diane. You're always gonna be asked about your time at DC Comics. You're never gonna be a civilian. You're always gonna be asked. To be bitter like that. People still are. I mean, you know, Mike Carlin, Mike Carlin's still there. You know, people who used to work for DC Comics who are now just like, hey, I worked for DC Comics in the 1970s. I don't work there anymore, but let me talk to you about what I was doing in the 1970s and the world of DC Comics in the 70s. You're always an ambassador for that brand. I still am too. An ambassador for Green Lantern. Oh, it's just shameful. Oh my goodness. Yes, everyone. Yes, yes, yes. Dan Marshall says Jeff needs to try to learn how to type back like Terry. And nobody would tell him to stop. So what's going on now? DC Comics cancels. We're gonna be seeing this a lot. These two words together. DC cancels. Long-running co-op advertising program with comic stores. DC has informed comic book stores that its long-running specialty retailer co-op advertising program will be discontinued at the end of 2019. Diamond accounts will stop accruing co-op credit following their September 25th invoices, reads the publisher's statement to the direct market retailers. Retailers will be able to request approval on co-op spends through December 31st, 2019. All claims must be finalized by January 30th, 2020. No claims will be accepted after that date. So this program incentivized comic book stores to buy advertising in their local markets promoting their store, and specifically DC Comics. Note, DC Comics is not going to incentivize you anymore. In exchange, DC would reimburse a portion of the advertising expense if it followed with a preset of rules from the publisher. That's over with. No more gimmies. This would include, but was not limited to, in-theater commercials ahead of DC movies, newspaper advertising, online and social media advertising, and featured placement in retailers' in-store newsletters. Not no more. It's just all over. All those gimmies, all those little things, all that help for retailers, incentives, no. No. You know, it is, we're right at the end. It's so, every day you're going to see something like that. You're going to see some new thing, some new bad news, but not here. Here you're going to hear good news about frogs. I'll always have good news about frogs. By the way, feeling kind of DC Comics-esque, let me see, I turn that way. Let me back up. No, okay, there we go. I hung up on, okay, I'm looking at a screen that is not a mirror, and I'm trying to be able to figure out, there we go. Okay, that's hard to do. You're used to looking in the mirror. To get your body to work the opposite way is not easy. Those are all of my DC Comics toys, action figures that I made. I decided to hang them up there. I keep looking at other like YouTubers' backdrops, and they're really interesting and compelling, and I think mine is too, but there's still too much blank space. There should be stuff to look at everywhere that you look. I should fill the walls. I should fill the backdrop. Like if I turn the camera around, you're going to see Vampirella over there. You're going to see my comic rack. Over here, you know, you'll see my trebuchet, all that stuff. My miniature trebuchet. Yeah. Somebody said to me, by the way, somebody was like, dude, your office is like really high tech and cool. It's like, no, it isn't. It's a basement and there are bugs in it right now. There's a bug in it. It's not that great. All right, let me, I mean, it is great, but it's, I'm happy to be here. It's always count your blessings. All right, let me see. Let me look up super chats and see what you guys are saying. Have a little conversation, a little Q&A. You guys can ask me. Let's do an AMA for a few minutes before I go out and get those shiny comic books. And maybe do some more signings, but my shoulder is... I'm signing so many books. Welcome, new member. Okay, so Unbearable Lightness of Being has joined the channel. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate that. We're going to do some more kind of chats, private chats. Not private chats. Exclusive chats. Members-only chats. Ham Sandwich says, is signing all these books turning you fully gray? Yeah, that's going to happen, Ham Sandwich. The sooner the better. I feel like if I actually had a Santa Claus beard, like full-on Santa Claus beard, I'd feel better. I will say this. I was watching a video, a live stream from like last summer, and my beard was huge. It was out of control. I mean, I really I was going for the Saddam Hussein look, pulling me out of a spider hole, dazed and confused. It looked good. It looked good. I went to my barber. He gave me a George Michael. No, I'm not that kind of, like a beard trim, so that I had stubble. I didn't like that. And then John Malin said, your face looks fatter than ever. I was like, well, it's because my beard is, he's like, fix your beard. I agree. Arthur, also, I've eaten 2 pies this week. And that's not a joke. 2 pies. 2 pies in a single week. I'm not going to get a third one. Arthur Tintagel says, how much do I have to pay you to draw Captain... Oh, I read that one. Let me see. Congrats, mate. Cyberfrog looks awesome, says Stevie J Reviews. Cracklin says, how about a dad joke? A dad joke, huh? Let me see. What's a good dad joke for you? I can't think of one right now. I'm devoid of dad jokes. It's awful. Mexican, I'm too serious. I've had too serious of a discussion about Superman and Jesus. Mexican Iron Man says, hail, hail, glorious day for Comicsgate. Hail, hail, Cyberfrog's arrival. All hail, great Caesar. All hail, the great future of the comic book industry. Thank you, Mexican Iron Man. Thank you. We would build a wall, but your repulsor rays would push right through it. You would find a way around it. Walls don't work. Simon Oliver says, does the stack of chairs support 400 pounds? No, it doesn't actually. I slid forward and it kind of fell apart. It wasn't great. It wasn't comfortable. It wasn't good. Thunderbird, thanks for $2.99, says, hail to my favorite pie-eating frogman. Thank you. Thank you. Gamma Catch. Oh, wait, no. You know what? There were 2 Teddy Spaghetti jokes, and I missed one. Arthur Tintagel says, how much do I have to draw you to draw Captain Teddy Spaghetti using his deadly meatball vision? Does he have deadly meatball vision? Teddy Spaghetti. It's a bash on Vox Day. It's kind of a little troll. Zate Comics says, hail, Black Magic Cop today, our 80s fantasy Comicsgate book, and hop on the fan art contest. Thanks for all the support. And Ethan, you're looking real jacked, BB. Hey, well, thanks, Zade Comics. Yeah, those boys at Zade Comics, the ladies love them. And the Gay Lords of War campaign. Also really love those Diaz brothers. Zade Comics has a book called Magic Cop. So go back it today. You'll love it. We'll have those guys on. I don't know if I want to try to out-handsome them, though. That's the problem. Cecil puts on a fright mask, and, I'll put him on the show. I'm not somebody who wants to compete with the handsome of my guests. Chucky Wookie says, where's the book, Ethan? It's never coming, is it? Yes, a scheme and a scam. Doker D says, on this day. Oh, we got that one. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, Seahawk Scott says, no more Trilogy of Terror, Ryan. Karen Black did it best, 100%. Dominic Russo says, I have no idea why Vox Day is connected with Owen Benjamin, but watch Owen Benjamin and get red pilled in less than 10 minutes. I watched a couple Owen Benjamin live streams, and I thought it was funny. I'd probably like him. I don't think we'd align with all of our views. I think Owen Benjamin's a little bit further right than I am. I know he's further right than I am. Everybody thinks that. I was talking to Zach about this. I was just like, everybody thinks I'm way further right than I am, and I'm kind of more centrist Republican. And for some reason in the comic book industry, that kind of translates to Nazi. But I've actually met some right wingers, and I look like real right, like hard right wingers. I sympathize with a lot of what they believe, but not all of it. And there are going to be some differences there. But Owen Benjamin is extremely funny, extremely clever, and he plays piano just like I do, which I like. Francis Lanzer says James the Fourth is great in my opinion. He's doing a great job with Scott Snyder on Justice League. Only people holding up DC right now. And that's interesting. Okay. Camo Moon says, so they're 86ing Batman, starting in Batman 86? No, they're 86ing him in at Batman number 100, I guess. That's when they replace him with a black man who was not Bruce Wayne. Corey Legend says, by the way, I mean, here's the thing. If you wanted to make Bruce Wayne, and do everything the same about Bruce Wayne, but just make him black, I think people would prefer that. Do that in a movie. But the idea that Bruce Wayne is going away, these people are never going to get it. They are never going to understand that. In my opinion, when I saw the Fantastic Four movie and they had Johnny Storm and he was black, it was just kind of like, but it's Johnny Storm. It's just a hot shot. He's still playing the same role. But yeah, he's just a black guy now. I mean, it didn't really make sense because of the family dynamic, but it worked. These guys want to replace Bruce Wayne. People want Bruce Wayne. They don't want anyone else. As long as the character is the same, I really think you're going to do better if you're going to do some kind of like race swap. People would still kind of, I think, buy into it. Andrew, wait a second. Corey Legend says, I'm glad DC is still successful in their ongoing crusade and dropping Batman sales below the booster goal one shot. Why course correct now? Batman sales are plummeting, dude. They are plummeting. It is absolutely terrible. It's ridiculous. Andrew Westwater says, EBS, Sunday I'm in Liverpool, Penny Lane, Strawberry Fields, and more. I will I graffiti by Cyberfrog and Sharpie on the famous signs? Goo goo gachoo. Yeah, please. Yeah, Strawberry Fields forever. Did the Beatles ever make reference to a frog? I mean, I know Paul McCartney did. He did that whole music video in the 1980s with the singing frogs, but I can't think if there's a frog reference. If you guys can think of a frog reference in a Beatles song, let me know. Yeah. Speaker for the Dead says, more sloppy seconds handed to black people. C-Fan85 says, on the Jack Show, I requested a critical review of Venus City or something. It's actually City of Venus Dead City, post by Vinny Tartamella. Yeah, Vinny T. Absolutely. Let's see. Hold on, let's go. Oh, I kind of lost it. Oh, here we go. Seedfan85 says, if and or when you have time, of course. So you want me to review City of Venus? Yeah, okay. I'm starting to think that I can review other people's comics in Comicsgate. I would never do that in to Marvel or DC because I just think it's just, there's still kind of a code. I mean, I can't be Diane Nelson. I can't just say, I think of myself as a civilian now. I know. No, there's a code of ethics. You don't do that. You don't bash other people's drawings. Like pros don't do that to each other. You just don't. And that's never going to go away. And if I try to do it, it's going to feel funny. It's going to feel funny. Like a dude would have to bash mine first. And then maybe I'd think about it. But I mean, I don't really do that. I wouldn't sit there and try to take apart someone's artwork or criticize it. But what I will do is I will look at these, Comicsgate books and give them kind of a review and let you know what I think of them. I don't know. Try to mostly be positive. I can't. The reviews are going to be bullshit because I won't do it. Like I can't be mean about someone's comic. Like I leave that to others. I just leave that to others. What if it sucks? And it's not going to because it's Vinny T. But like, if I take on this policy of reviewing other people's comics and they suck, what do I just find something nice to say. I don't know. I don't know. It's probably not for me to do. Ian Malcolm says SJWs are like dinosaurs. You don't realize how dangerous they are until they try to take your life. Kay Brady says, so that makes replacing Wayne with someone else 3 times in the last 10 years. Grace and Gordon, now Fox. That's right. Tony Clark says, painting a Bruce Wayne in a blue dress. Oh, I read that one. Brian Kriskow says, doorbell just rang and guess what arrived? Oh, I hope it's Cyberfrog. I hope you got Cyberfrog. Thunder Robot says, they really did go to Area 51 this morning, but nobody crossed the gate. There is video on YouTube. Good for them. I got a t-shirt about it. When I was at the Jersey Shore on the boardwalk, I got an Area 51 t-shirt. It was fun. Chucky Wookie says, damn, EVS, read my super chats or tell me to quit. I'm starting to get a complex. This is not the first time. Keep up the good work, fucker. Chucky Wookie, I feel like I do read your super chats. It just takes a while to get to them. Craig Speckenbach says, Uncle E, I'm in a celebratory mood. My wife gave birth to my 3rd daughter, and I received blood honey. What a week. I'm off to the Veer store. All right, Craig, that's great. Congratulations. What is your daughter's name? That is awesome. Francis Lanzer says, Jeff Johns' GL run, Green Lantern run, helped me to get sober back in 2012 when I went back to comics. Is that right? Wow. That's fantastic. That's good news. Yeah, I was privileged to be a part of that run, and I think that I'm hoping Cyberfrog will actually supplant that as the most important work of my career. My Green Lantern stuff means a lot to me, and I still hear a lot from people about it. Christy Abyss says, if DC was doing a Green Lantern movie and they asked you to come in and be a special consultant who knows the mythos and lore of the Green Lantern Corps, would you approach it? How would you approach it? Oh, well, first you would have to, the question is, would I do it? I think the answer is yes, I would. How would I approach it? Let's see, what do I want for a Green Lantern TV show or a Green Lantern movie? Oh, it's got to be about Hal Jordan, and it's got to be, you know what I would do? I would make it about Hal Jordan. I would make it about Guy Gardner. I'd make it about John Stewart, Army buddies, or Marines. Marines, because John's a Marine. So let's make them all Marines together. And then I'd bring in your boy Zach to consult, and we would work it out like that. Like, that's how they knew each other. They're already predisposed to, that kind of a thing. They're ready to be cops. They're ready to be space cops because they have that kind of discipline and that kind of order. And I think that would work great. So I would do Hal, Guy Gardner, John Stewart. Yeah. The mob seat says Superman also broke his code by murdering Zod. That was ridiculous. Oh, that movie drove me nuts. You could have killed him. If you were going to kill him, you could have killed him before he killed Metropolis, you asshole. At the end of it, screaming and crying, breaking his neck. All those people died. We can't leave it to these people. Crazy people who do not understand comics. They don't understand superheroes. Have taken over. We can't let them do it. It's just, oh my God. We have to fight back, guys. Paul Pitzel, it's like not important, but it is important. That's why it makes me laugh. Like, it does make me mad. And then I realize it's not important, but it is important at the same time. EVS and Young Rippa team up needed, says Paul Pizzlewizzle. Yeah, I'd love to team up with Eric. He's great. Alan Walker says, you and Jeff Johns are awesome. Y'all's work past, present, and future are what Marvel and DC should look to instead of this SJW BS. I agree. Dan Rusko says, that wall is bare with no Rose Tico. I threw out all my Rose Ticos. Like I had a row and row of rows, and it bordered the top of my wall over my old desk. And instead of like packing them when we moved, I just tore them down and threw them away. I had like 50 of them. Now I have to get 50 more. Well, good news, they're going to be cheap if I get any more. Let's see here. Lucas King says, just shave your head, grow the beard. Full-on Obadiah, Stain from Iron Man 1. I've been doing it since I was 25. Chicks love it. Men respect and fear it. It's a thought. Matt Rosenfeld says, can't wait for my copy of Cyberfrog. Any chance you might work on an Indiegogo campaign with Jeff Johns? It'd make a fortune. Jeff Johns is a multi-millionaire. He's not going to do any Indiegogo campaign. He's a producer. He's got his own production studio. I don't see him working on an Indiegogo campaign. And he still does work for DC Comics. He's obviously, if you don't know, he's got a book out called Doomsday Clock, which is with Gary Frank, who's one of my favorite artists at DC. And it looks great. It's taken a while to make, but it's definitely worth it. Chris the Abyss says, Ethan, I just saw a rumor article about Hugh Jackman reprising his role as Wolverine in an MCU version of Wolverine versus the Hulk. Well, that would be a pretty good rumor. I would believe that. I would totally believe that. Brett Norman, thanks for $2 donation. Raging Goblin says, dad joke. 2 peanuts walk into a bar. One was assaulted. Great. Brett Norman says, what are your thoughts on Jeff Darrow? Absolute genius. Absolute genius. Yeah, super influential. Love his detail. Love his drawing. He's great. Simon Sim Pautier says, hello, everyone. Hail EVS. Hail War Campaign and CG Jumpstart. Comics 8 Jumpstart. CG Jumpstart is the magazine that War Campaigners are working on right now. They're actually going to do a kind of wizard magazine. It'll be interesting to see. Check out Blood Hunt, now in demand, the most badass assassin vampire in comics. Chris Chambers says Bruce Wayne already exists. Night Thrasher. Oh, that's true. Ty Gorton says diversity anagrams to Dirty Vise. Dirty Vise, just saying. Peppermint Oil Capsule says, thanks for the news about Cyberfrog shipping internationally. My recovery from the hospital is going very slowly. This news cheered me up. Please check your mail. Oh, I did. I went to the mail today, and I got all the stuff, all the packages out. They're in my car. I might do a video. Sure. Andrew Sabina says, drive time EVS and rip it in the afternoon. That would be cool. I really like Eric. I haven't had a chance to have him on the show yet, but I do mean to. I do intend to have him on the show. So what are we doing? We have today is the day that I turned in all the stuff. They are making the Cyberfrog hardcover. Okay, this is the collected edition. Fortunately, this book is going to be put together in several different ways. My dad has the original art to Cyberfrog #1 by Hall of Heroes, and he scanned it for me. Praise Holiday, Saint Holiday. What a man! What a dude! I really appreciate this because, yeah, this is great. So I'm going to get this colored. Look how it's so 90s. It's so funny. I'm gonna get all this stuff colored, and we're gonna strip out the old color. And from the color issues from Harris Comics, and we're going to put in new color, and we're just going to put together the ultimate Cyberfrog book, the ultimate Cyberfrog hardcover. It's going to have all of this stuff in it, and I've started on it today. I gave there's a fellow named Ink Spots who colored some great Rainbow Brute stuff. I don't know if you saw it. He painted Rainbow Brute drawings that I did. And he painted them out he took the line work out and digitally painted them. They're glorious. And I was just sitting here thinking, there's got to be some place. I hate to not have work to give really talented people. We got Kyle Ritter. Kyle Ritter's working on, the big books, but he's also working on Starblades. This book is 300 pages worth of color. So I'm going to have color work to give to 3 colorists maybe. Now, initially, when we talked about putting this together, I was hopeful that this would be the kind of thing that we could get out for Christmas. There's no way. From what I'm being told, putting this book together is not going to get done together. It's not going to get done in time for Christmas. If it were all ready to go, if we didn't want to make any changes, then we might be able to hit Black Friday, but I don't think we're going to be able to do it. But we are still going to do it. And the Cyberfrog hardcover, 300 pages. We want to keep it at make it a hardcover, keep it at a $40 price point. Okay, so it'll have everything in it, absolutely everything. We're going to cram it full of all of the old Cyberfrog stuff from the 90s. Just it'll be a nice historical artifact, and it'll be good for people who just want to read the stuff because it's expensive. The books themselves are expensive, and I didn't want to do anything with them until, like, in terms of reprints, for a little while, because basically, let's let the retailers make a little money selling the originals, selling the books. Let's let the retailers, sell these to collectors. And now that they've done that, and I think collectors have, it's like you can't. It's so hard to find these books now. It's so hard. Now that they've done that, let's reprint it for just people who want to buy everything and not miss anything, not have to hunt, just want to read it all. $40. And I think that's going to be a good deal. I hope you guys like that. I'll also do, for people who are asking, there'll be a signed edition that'll be $75. There'll be a sketched edition that'll be maybe $200. And we're going to do a bunch of other things. We're going to do a Cyberfrog standee, just like the Vampirella one over here. I'm going to make a Cyberfrog standee that'll actually hold your comics. It'll be just a nice piece of art on cardboard and a stand-up, and it is going to be it's going to be nice. It's going to be just one more thing that you guys can purchase if you want. We have so much stuff going on, but what can I tell you? I'm grateful for you guys. You guys are just awesome, and I wanted to reward you. I know that a lot of you have been asking for this reprint material. I didn't want to do it because it's my old stuff. It's like, do I want people to read my stuff that I did when I was a kid? And yes, because you guys want it, so you're gonna get it. It's as simple as that. That's the way it's got to be, And I will just blush. I will be embarrassed a little bit by some of it, because it is, they're the comics that I did from age like 19 to 22 or 23. So it's all my early stuff. Mayo Versan says, how about frog condoms? Believe it or not, we're considering that. You guys, somebody brought that up before. I said, why not? Why couldn't we make frog condoms? That just makes sense. People do that. People do have, they do make condoms, for fun. All right, so now it's an Ask Me Anything. I'm just going to look at the chat. If you guys have any questions, let's do that for about 15 minutes. And then, I will head back over to Fulfillment Center, and let's get back to work. I love you guys too. It's great. Thank you guys for being here. Wow, 1,334 people in here right now. That's fantastic. Thank you. Let's see. Questions. Neil says, hi, Ethan. Will my Cyberfrog Blood Honey Salamandroid variant cover be shipped with the Ashcan? I believe so, but you know what? Ashcans aren't in yet, so we might be shipping the Ashcans separately at this point. My attitude is, let's just get everything out in the mail as soon as it's here now. People have waited long enough. And I don't want to, make people wait until everything's here. I had these fantasies about doing it in order, chromiums first. I don't think people are going to wait for that. So when the Salamandroid variant Ashcans come in, which I think is today, we're just going to ship them out. That's it. We'll ship them out. And as things come in, we will ship them out too. I don't want to make you guys wait anymore. Georgia Sousa says, you shouldn't be ashamed, Ethan. I'm sure we'd all love and appreciate to see your beginnings. That's how I see it too. I guess it'll be nice to have a hardcover book like that. And yeah, sure. Some of it's funny. Let's see. Status report on Cyberfrog action figures, says Johnny Torch. Okay, so the action figures are coming. Imminently, though, we want to make statues. Now, I was presented with a choice. We can either do Cyberfrog and Heather statues now, or we can do a Salamandroid statue now. Now, the Salamandroid statue is going to retail at $500. That's why they're kind of scared to do this. We're talking about a statue, can you see my hands? A big statue of Salamandroid with a tail and everything. He would be in scale with the Cyberfrog and Heather statues that come later. I said I think people would buy it. I don't know. But we're going back and forth. Do we do Cyberfrog and Heather first, or do we do Salamandroid first? I'm not sure. Now, that's going to be something that we can do right away. Statues are pretty easy to get done. And 3D Robin did a full-on turnaround three-dimensional sculpt of Salamandroid, so we can get it just right. The question is what you guys would rather have first and what's going to sell. What are you guys going to pay $500 for a Salamandroid statue? How many of you? I think we need to make $100,000 to make it profitable. So we would have to sell 200 Salamandroid statues. Can we do? I don't know if we can do it. I don't know. I mean, look, we have quite a few backers, but I don't know if we can sell. Can we do 200 $500 items to make this work? Is that right? Did I do the math right? Or is it 2,000 that we need? Jesus, if it's 2,000, there's no way we can sell 2,000. 500 times 200. I know, I think I was right. I think I was right about that. We got a super chat. Fud123, thanks for $10. Says, can't wait for Cyberfrog, Ethan. The last few days are the worst. I've been cool this whole time. Now I feel like a spoiled kid before Christmas. Where's my frog book? It'll come any second now. Everybody's getting them. So, yeah. Let's see. Why big ones? Smaller figures could incur more. Like I'd buy one for me and my son, but I can't afford $500 and definitely not twice, says B-Dad. See, these are all considerations. These are all things to think of. But see, the action figures are coming. We're doing the action figures, but we want to do the statues. Like, we can do that right away. Does that make sense? Action figures are a lot more work. Okay. So we'd get the action figures next year. This year we could do statues. All right, let me see. Questions. How do you deal with wrist fatigue from drawing? Says Thunder Robots. Hey, that's a good question. But it doesn't really hurt my wrist. It tends to hurt my elbow and it tends to hurt my shoulder. That's where the pain is. I don't know. It just takes some leave and I'll get back to work. My wrist is fine. Spectre of Comics says Cyberfrog just showed up at my doorstep. Yes. All right, people are getting it. Ty Gorton says, is there a website that features a listing of all Comicsgate comics that have been and are currently on offer? Ty Gorton, I think there is one. It's called Indiecron. Indiecron's run by Edwin Boyette and friends, and I think that's what you're looking for. So go to indiecron.com, if not indiecron.net. I think it's indiecron.com. Let's see here. Scrolling down. Random McAnderson says, design in 3D and 3D print, much cheaper. Okay, I mean, this isn't my responsibility. I'm just going to leave it to people who do this all the time. Find out what they need, find out how much money I need to give them, and, try to do that, Brett Norman says, do you have anything close to an estimate of when Rainbow the Brute will begin work? Also, I definitely want fully articulated Cyberfrog toys. I'll pay anything. Okay, yeah, we're going to get them, Brett. We're definitely going to get the Cyberfrog toys. They're important to me, too. That's my ultimate goal. The toys and the action figures. I mean, the toys and the cartoon. Also, a video game would be good. So we're going to do it. We are going to do it. Rainbow the Brute. I'm going to do it soon. Let me finish fulfilling Cyberfrog Blood Honey. Here's what I got to do. Here's what's on my desk right now. I got to finish the Jawbreakers cover. I got to do a cover for Vestige right after that, okay? I got to do a cover for the Cyberfrog. I'm going to do a new cover for the Cyberfrog hardcover. I want to get that done. I got to clean up the trading cards and get that campaign up and moving. And then once all of that stuff is done, I think I can start, really putting my heart into Rainbow the Brute, and I can just shut out everything else. Because it really is a question of just focusing on one thing at a time. So Rainbow the Brute, start drawing it in maybe mid-October. Get the campaign up. I don't know when I'm going to put the campaign up, though, because timing that sucker is important. You don't want to time it at Christmas. It's hard. It's hard. I don't know. I'm going to draw most of it first, though, so that you guys aren't like, where's my book? Matthew Lemon says, you got to make a queen bee statue. Then you can make a giant hive, kind of like the G.I. Joe base. Hey, that would be kind of cool. Let's see. Connor O'Halloran says, let's see if the book's any good. Yeah, that's a good idea. See if you like the comic before you decide to spend, money on toys and statues. Dan Marshall wants a Salamandroid solo comic. And Elaine says, $500 is too much. Yeah, it is a lot. Not everybody's going to be able to buy it. That's the problem with it, And what do we do? I mean, maybe, if we do the Cyberfrog statue first, more people can buy it because it would be at a lower price point. I don't know. It's all stuff I'm thinking about, guys. Antonio Cardenas says, keep typing Terry. Thank you for $5. Appreciate that. Let's see. Terry says, F Boyette. Dan Marshall says, hail, brother. Yeah, DC Forever says, Sarp Kokak. I've never seen you before. Welcome. Thank you. Let's see. I got the head sketch book. How big will the sketch be? It'll be pretty big. I mean, do I have a comic here? No, I don't have one. I have one over here. Hold on. So I'm thinking, so this is your book. This is your book. And I haven't even done one yet because they're not in. I didn't offer them for this, only for the chromiums. So it's going to take up this whole area here. Okay. Neck down here. It's going to be a head sketch and then a signature. I'm going to try to see how detailed I can make it. You know, those are going to take time too. This all fulfillment is going to take time, you know. So head sketch should be pretty big and hopefully you'll be happy with it. Vault Keeper says, what advice would you give someone looking to make their own comic? No drawing ability, just a writer. Well, you know, I would say you really do need to get an artist, but write a really good story outline, write a good concept, and then find an artist. You can probably find one within this community. You know, just look around you. Let's see. Caroline Schuster says, EVS, who do you use for delivery? USPS. And it looks like we're sending everything media mail. So I should get there soon. Dick Grayson's always my favorite DC. He's so hopeful, yet his current story is miserable. Would you approve? I don't know, peppermint oil capsule. Like, I was never a big Dick Grayson fan. I never really liked Nightwing that much. He's okay. You know, he's okay. I was always more of a Batman guy. Terry says, when is Salamandroid getting his own book? Caesar. He's getting an ash can. He's getting an ash can for Wrecked Planet. That whole ash can is going to be about him. Okay, so you know, that's close to being its own book. You know, the 1998 ash can, I'm just going to blow up into a big book anyway. It's so good. You know, it's got the Cyberfrog ash can's good. What's in it? It shows the aliens signaling early on Earth. It shows it shows Salamandroid finding out about something that happens in the book. It shows Cyberfrog meeting Tromedeus and fighting Tromedeus briefly. It's basically cut scenes. And then it shows Heather Swain and what happened to Heather Swain. And it shows, where she ends up. I'm going to blow it up into its own book. I think it's worth having as a full-size book as well. I think it's pretty good. Let's see. Tish McMiggin says, hello, saw some drama on Twitter regarding printed wrinkled pages on Cyberfrog. What up with that? Yeah, I received 3 Cyberfrog comics on a rainy day in a FedEx envelope. You know, the pages are flat. You know, I mean, they're magazine stock, but yeah, those pages were, I guess, kind of damp. They were moist. So I know people are looking for some silly things to argue about, and that's fine. Today especially, I mean, today is the day when people are getting their comics, and there's going to be drama left and right. You know, it is what's gonna, you know, people are gonna. I don't know. This book is important, like in some weird way. This book is important, like people really like want to sabotage it or they want to celebrate it. It's just a comic that I did. I mean, who am I? Let's see. I don't collect toys and I'd buy one for my desk, says Chris Chambers. That's good. Some people want Salamandroid sex toys. Last Crusader says, any chance of a Spawn and Cyberfrog cover in the future? We love Todd. I love him too. I hope so. You know, I definitely hope so. But you know, no plans. I mean, I don't want to drag anyone into Comicsgate until they're ready to come. You know, it's like I don't want to. It's a whole lot of SJWs have ruined the comic book industry to such a degree that, you know, it's like, yeah, anybody who comes along with me is going to get harassed. So they're going to harass you. So I don't want to invite people to come play with me. It's okay. You don't have to play in my playground, my sandbox. Go do your own thing. I can do this myself, you know. That's fine. Peppermint Oil Capsule says Dick Grayson has always been my favorite DC character. He's so hopeful, yet his current story is so miserable. Would you mind if he became a Lantern instead? Oh, well, that's a good idea. Yeah. I think that would actually be good. But yeah, I would like to see that. I think that'd be cool. And he could make cool kind of dark constructs. It'd be great. Christy Abyss says John Layman took a little shot at you about Cyberfrog. I had to go through the anti-CG Pros feed to see if they were hating. Of course, I don't engage them. Yeah, John Layman is a very silly human being and a very sad guy. Most of these guys who are doing the sniping, most of these obsessives, anti-Comicsgate pros, are on the way out of the industry. Very few of them have stable jobs in the industry. John Layman doesn't. He's unhireable. Nobody wants to work with him. And he's very, very miserable. He's hard to talk to. He's hard to be around. Everything that he says is negative, like extremely over the top. His emotions are out on his sleeve, and his emotions are bitter. Plus, he's only 4 feet tall. So, add it all up. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying. Brett Norman, thanks for $5. Says, have you given any thought at all to the platform you'd like to see the Cyberfrog cartoon play on? Yeah, I would like, here's what's possible, and it's pretty easy. I want to get it straight to Blu-ray. I want it in Target. I want it in Walmart. Okay, we can just get a nice animated, like anime Cyberfrog cartoon. What's funny is that somebody pointed out that, one of the Jerky Boys that I based Cyberfrog's voice on is on Twitter. And somebody said to him, hey, you should be the voice of Cyberfrog. That's what Ethan Van Sciver wanted, and he followed me on Twitter. I'm like, I'll hire this guy. Are you kidding me? 3D Robin, do you want to do some animation? We'll throw this guy. We'll throw him a little money, Johnny. We'll get him to say a few things as Cyberfrog, and then you animate it. Hey, what's up there, Sizzle Chest? Yeah, we'll get the guy that I want to actually voice Cyberfrog. That's worth some money. Just a couple clips, we did it. We've done it before. We'll find out how much he wants, Hey, EVS, how about some Cyberfrog aquarium ornaments? I never thought of that. That's a pretty neat idea. Seems like it would have a limited purchasing market, though. But it does sound cool. Yeah, let's see. Brett Norman says, sorry about the last question, but how much were you suspecting the entire figure collection would cost to get the whole Build-A-Figure? Yeah, that's the question. I don't know, and I think honestly the way to my feelings about how to do an action figure crowdfunder goes like this. We say, hey, we're gonna start out with one Cyberfrog figure. And that Cyberfrog figure is like $150. It's something crazy, okay? And as the crowdfund grows, see, people say, why was Blood Honey $25? Well, because it starts out small. It's just a regular comic book that's 48 pages. And that's it. That's all you get. And then as the campaign grows and we raise more and more money, we hit different stretch goals. And then because everybody's participating, everyone gets more and more for their $25 until you're getting a thicker book with a chromium cover with like extra perks, stickers, trading cards, all that stuff. So I would kind of think about trying the action figure crowdfunder the same way. One action figure for $150, but if we get to $100,000, we're throwing in Heather Swain. If we get to $300,000, we're throwing in Rumblebee. And if we get to, this point, we're throwing in this character. And then if we get to this point, we're adding a Build-A-Figure for all of the toys. Okay, so that's kind of something like that. So we'd start out really expensive just so that even if we didn't reach any of our stretch goals, we'd still have enough money to make a small number of Cyberfrog action figures. But as the campaign grew and became more successful, we'd have more funds to throw into making sure everybody got the whole line for $150. Does that make sense? So I think that's the way you're supposed to do it. And then like beyond that, we could add action figure accessories, things like that. Like, hey, once we reach this mini goal, you're going to get a Cyberfrog accessory pack with a sticky tongue and, all this stuff. I don't know. I don't know if it would work. These are just good ideas. are not good ideas. They're just ideas I have. Dong Shift says, have the Egyptian magician do a cameo. The Egyptian magician. Yeah. Okay. Vinny Art says, figures are costly. The stretch goals will make it awesome. I like the idea. Yeah, so it's basically like, look, you're investing in this. You're going to give me $150. I promise you one Cyberfrog figure. If we get to this stretch goal, you're going to get Cyberfrog and Heather. If we get to this stretch goal, you'll get Cyberfrog, Heather, and Rumblebee. And, if we get to this stretch goal, you'll get the Build a Salamandroid figure for all of them, Let's see. Pete Wisdom says, $150. Yeesh, that's steep unless you get up like 6 figures. You'd probably get 4 figures, and one of them would be Salamandroid. And that would be if... See, this is all expensive. It's really, really tough. It is expensive to do action figures. I know that for a fact. Everybody's telling me. But you've got to have a campaign strategy to make it work, so that everybody's going to get something. You're taking a risk if you back it, but we promise you a Cyberfrog figure, that kind of a thing. Laughing Gas says, pushing Starblades on the stream tonight. I can't. I'm pushing it. I mentioned it today. I can't. I'm going to be very, very busy tonight. I don't think I can do a Starblade stream tonight. But everybody go out there and back Starblades. And let's get that thing moving. I mean, it's a great campaign. It's really successful. Let's see. Elaine says, you got to sell 666, 150 to reach the stretch goal. Spooky. Oh, that's interesting. Let me see here. Sketch Therapy says, the production time needs to be assessed correctly. I don't think it's wise to do figures before Rainbow Brute and Cyberfrog 2. Further research must be done. It can be a trap. Yeah, Sketch, believe me, I know. It's like I'm anxious to do it, but I'm not rushing into it. And frankly, there's only one Cyberfrog book that's out right now. So we do want to put out Wrecked Planet. We do want to do everything, get people more into the story and the characters. After all, Blood Honey's just an intro. It's just an introduction to the story. Okay. So it's the first part. So I don't think we're ready to do too much stuff, just yet. We'll get to it. And look, I'm dedicated to this. I'm going to do Cyberfrog for the rest of my life if you let me. If you guys let me, I'll do Cyberfrog forever. It's all up to our business relationship, our partnership. You guys being involved. I'll keep doing it because I love these characters and I have a big story to tell. So toys, accessories, all that stuff is going to come your way. Let's see. JS 4343 says, can I buy a damaged copy of Cyberfrog? I'm in South Jersey. Yeah, I got a couple more of them today, and I actually I put them aside. I don't see why not. I'll figure it out. I'm gonna run another campaign. Oh, there are gonna be so many Indiegogo campaigns. I almost feel like opening a store, but I really like seeing the total. Here's the problem with opening a store: like people can't see how much money everything's. Right? People like to see the total tabulate. So do another Indiegogo campaign, which is going to be just essentially a store where it's going to be like, hey, here's what's available. We've got, and this is what I've decided to do. We've got the proof copies. We've got 200 of those available for sale. We have black and white line art variants, 1,500 of each, limited edition for sale. We've got these chromium leftovers. I'm going to count them and see how many we have after everything's fulfilled. These chromium leftovers are for sale at an inflated price. It's going to be ridiculous. These Salamandroid chromiums, whatever we have left, are for sale. Inflated price. Just so that the people who backed early got a good deal. And I'm going to do a whole thing like that where all of the books are available. And then maybe I'll add the damaged tier that's like half price. I've got 50 damaged Cyberfrogs if you want them. Something like that. All right, let's see. Andrew Huerta says, more money, more problems. Hail, Lord of the Gays. Thank you, Andrew Huerta. It's good to see you. EEF says, any plans on how to grow the fan base CVS? Just keep doing what we're doing, guys. This is exciting. I mean, Comicsgate's dependent on us, how we make people feel. If we make people happy, if they're getting their books, if they enjoy those books, if they love our personalities, and we put on good, entertaining programming for them, like this right here, I think we will continue to grow and do great. Yes, I'm going to go now. I gotta go and see this comic, guys. Should I live stream that? I'm not gonna live stream it. Should I live stream it? Let's get in the Chromium variant. Not Chrome. It's not a variant. It's the main cover. Two of them. I should have Salamandroid in too. I don't think anything is more exciting than this. This is. I mean, look. I'm happy with this. This is a beautiful comic. But the Chromium is going to be the most beautiful comic of the year. It's like. I mean, it is. It's like I keep calling it the Lamborghini of comic books. I'll get it and I'll just come home. Maybe I'll get it and come home. I don't know. I got work to do. I got to finish the Jawbreakers cover. I'll definitely post it on Twitter, though. If you're not following me on Twitter, I'm at Ethan Van Sciver, and you will notice an incredible amount of drama happening today as people are very excited about Cyberfrog Bloodhoney and also trying to destroy my life, career, and job. That is the state of Comicsgate. That is the state of anti-Comicsgate. That is the state of former Comicsgate and SJWs. It is crazy. These people want to destroy me. I talked to Andrew about it. I'm like, what is going on? What is going on with these peoples? I don't know, but we have to remain sunny and positive because that's the only way to beat bad people is to just live better, just to be cheerful. And I do that because you guys are fun. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. And I'm going to get those books now. I will post pics on Twitter. All right. I'll see you guys later. Adios. Now let's do the countdown before we hit end stream. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye, everyone.